Alright. Well, when I was thinking of like starting this,
serious time now.
When I was thinking of starting this.
I was thinking of doing this.
What's it called again? His superpower?
Oh, smolder.
Smoldering.
Okay. Well,
It's good pucker.
welcome to episode 1 of the podcast if you're watching this. We are here to talk about movement and all the shit that you can do in your life to make yourself feel just a little bit better. And movement happens to be one of those things.
Yes.
And for Josh and myself, we enjoy moving, and we have some things to say about it. So we're going to start sharing.
Yes.
But I did actually have, when I was sort of like starting to think about what to talk about and stuff, I was thinking, like, why do you move? Like, why do you do movement?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of it's just selfishness.
Really?
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't really do it for anyone else. Like, I like the aesthetics.
Yeah, but like you know hopping in a nice car and giving it a fucking rev and boosting off is like a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
Like, why do you do movement?
But how, like, people, I always get that reaction as well. Like, when I tell people about, like, my love for cars and things, and, like, I love hearing, like a Mustang or, like, a Challenger or something. Like,
Yeah.
like a real nice V8. And then they're like, oh, but when they rev it up, it's fucking gay. Well, they hate that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
But I love that. I love the aesthetics. I like just embracing that. Yeah, like the sound of it. I like the look of it. I mean, yeah, everything about it. I just love it. It's cool.
So within movement, then, like, why do you feel inclined when you wake up to like do any form of movement, whether it like is resistance training and or whatever?
It kind of varies. Like, yeah, like lately it's been just like it's definitely been a lot for me because just getting into it, like a new habit, new place, new environment, new workspace.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of a little bit, you know, still misty waters. Like, I haven't really figured out that, you know, routine kind of thing that's set in stone. Like, this is what I'm doing every single day, every single night, just because this is how I want to. I'm slowly getting
the way forward.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting there. But at the moment, it's like I've only just found within this past like 3 or 4 days since the last time that we kind of spoke about it. Ever since that time when we were on the way to park up and had that wine at the playground, which you guys will probably see a little. Actually, cue the snippet.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, bro.
That's right.
And,
that's gonna be Craig up throwing that.
Yeah. So yeah, ever since we had that kind of conversation about how like I felt like that I wasn't getting supported, but it was just my own ego getting a little bit butthurt that I wasn't getting the same kind of feeling or giving that, because when I hang out with my friends, like I'm interested in them, but I'm like, obviously fuck, they're my friends, but like I really want to like get to know exactly why they love what they love, like, because that brings me joy. Like, I want to get to know like your friends. I want to get to know Isaac's friends, but I want to also get to know like why you love movement. Why you like playing the guitar. Why you like reading up on my Aubrey Marcus. Like, whatever you say, like I'll just make that extra effort to get to know. So I think in my own head, I'm like, if no one is doing that to me, then they must not love me in the way that I love them. So it's kind of like,
okay.
But that's just my way of giving love. Like, everyone's got those love languages and stuff, and I think my way is just by spending time with the people that I love. Whereas,
doing the things.
Whereas I think that yours is like spending time, but it's mostly like I feel like that's actually mostly doing things for other people, but spending time. Is that right? What's your love language?
I don't really know. Right?
I feel like your one would be mostly spending time.
Yeah, it's a time thing. I'm pretty like picky with who I hang out with, and I don't mean that like I don't want to hang out with you. It's more just like I'd rather like for me, I feel like I would get more out of doing this, and that's usually why I don't hang out with people or
Yeah.
something like that. So yeah, time, but I mean, you could argue that anyone's time though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
surely if you give your time, that means like.
Yeah. I can't remember that. I need to read up on a
Yeah.
book about love languages and stuff.
Same.
That would be actually really handy to just like know, and then you can get to know people a bit more. But for me, it's definitely like time, but it's also like giving things. Like making you dinner tonight was like, cause, I mean, you've been helping me out this past couple of weeks with everything and things. So so I was like, you know, like how, because you know, I went to the gym earlier and you kind of felt like a little bit down. I could see.
Yeah.
Not down, but just a little bit drained.
It was more just like, just wanted to not communicate and just like.
I'm glad you hit the sauna.
Yeah,
I'm really glad that you hit the sauna.
Same.
But yeah, like making you dinner was like while I was making, I was like before you came through the door, I was like, yeah, I'm making dinner for Hunter. Yes, I'm such a good friend.
Okay, I do feel that too, and that's probably why.
I feel like that's why we gel quite well. Is because we recognize when we are like really giving toward each other. For me, something that I noticed as well is that, like, I need to take a step back out of what other people think of me. I need to still, even like my close friends, like I still need to take a step out of it and just be like, wait, what would like in this moment right now be most beneficial for me? Yeah. And ever since I had that conversation with you when we went to park up and have that wine and shit.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing that. I've been like, wait, okay, because however I feel is gonna ripple off, and it's gonna affect the people that I'm interacting with on a daily basis. So
if you're always choosing the thing for you that like
then naturally
is your higher self, then you're just gonna give that off to other people. Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking so true.
Yeah, exactly. So I've just kind of started to make that little shift in my own mind, and in my own like decision making. It's not so much that I'm like consciously going through like oh yeah, what is the most like beneficial way that I can be myself, and like it's not that. It's just like you have two things in front of you. One's going to be like, maybe you have 3 things or 4 things in front of you. A couple of them are going to be good, a couple of them are going to be bad. The good ones, either it's going to be good for like just to make your life a little bit easier. One's going to be just to make my life a little bit easier. They're both good options, but I think that for me, I need to take a step back and be like, okay, well, if I actually just apply and just do me, it's going to ripple off into how you feel about me as well, and that's going to make our friendship stronger. That's going to make like the moments that we have together like more like special and stuff. So if I can be in a better state of mind, it's just going to be better for everyone. So I think you got to make for me, like I've just kind of started to make that shift. I've got to be a little bit selfish. A little bit selfish, not necessarily with my time, just with like the way that I choose.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you first said about like the decisions you make for like not selfishly, but in the direction in which you want to go, and how typically we base a lot of our choices and decisions on like what other people think of us. Like if I didn't release this podcast episode or whatever right now, then it would purely be because I'm like scared of what other people are going to think, and like we're just talking and having a conversation, like why would anyone want to hear that, like all these bitch voices popping up. But it's like the only reason that I'm putting this out or even thinking about doing this is so that I'm slowly going towards that version of me that will just make, I guess, better decisions. Yeah, you're like just... And not just because of everyone else, not like, oh, I'll do that because that'll make everyone else happy even though I want to do this one. Yeah. Like, that's, I think, how we've lived a lot of our lives, and I mean like everyone. Yeah. And... Oh, me, yeah, for sure. I think, I've got that natural kind of programming because I've always made that choice of what someone, or how would this action or this decision make this person think of me. Yeah. I've always kind of chosen that rather than what's actually just, what do I want to do? Yeah. What's best for me right now? So I'm at that crossroads. And
in terms of that, which is good. It's a necessary step. It's a bit of a daunting one though sometimes.
Yeah, it's
kind
so difficult when it's like in front of people too,
Yeah,
and yeah, you feel the pressure of other people, and it's harder to make the decision
That's
that you
what-
would truly make when you've got the pressure of other people in front of you or around you, which I mean that's the whole reason that we're sort of like doing what we're doing. So we
yeah,
I mean, I do find it easier within our friendship to make slightly better decisions, even just like if I walk home and see you doing whatever, it's like, okay, I'm gonna like do that instead of you know whatever else, and
yeah.
like not saying that it's perfect all the time, but you know, like
But yeah, that's the ideal though, and it's again, it's not to say like that, that doing that kind of stuff is necessarily bad. Like yeah, again, you will have like two good choices and two bad ones sometimes, but it's like that good choice isn't always gonna lead you down like kind of what Matthew McConaughey says. Sometimes like a red light later on turns into a green light. Happens with a green light. Sometimes it can turn into a red light. So. So yeah, I just kind of started to just be a little bit more aware of that, and I mean I'm still getting inspiration. Like sometimes when you like sit up a little bit more upright or something, or
just
in the
something random like that.
in the sauna you started to focus more on your breath, and then I kind of like turned
into it.
with your breath as well. Yeah, dropped
Bro,
into
honestly,
that meditation.
that last 5 minutes of the sauna today was a pure mental battle. Like I'd see the hand go around and then be like, all right, just 1 more minute, and then like 1 more minute would go by, and I'd be like, just fucking go until the 15-minute mark.
Yeah.
And then it like got around, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll just drop out 30 seconds, and I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
just one more. Like Joe Rogan's breath thing, that's like literally what got me through, and I was fucking
just
done.
one more breath.
And even like I was like, oh no, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Like this is bad. Like I shouldn't do this. Like making all these little like little fucking excuses of any way in which I can wiggle out of like just grinding that last couple minutes.
Sauna is one of the hardest ones.
Yeah.
I've just gotten into the sauna now. I'm so good.
So uncomfortable.
I'm so glad that I did. Like it's really uncomfortable.
The longest I've ever done consecutively is 20 minutes, and that is like that's a battle.
That's heavy.
Yeah,
that's heavy.
It's
I've only done that twice, I think, since I've been here.
Fucking
and it's a hard time. It's a real hard time because it kind of, especially that first like 10 minutes, first 5 minutes is easy.
Yeah.
And then when you get to like the 10-minute mark, it's like it kind of just gets hotter.
Yeah.
Like
you can start to feel your heart going like boof, boof, and it's like.
And the last 5 minutes feel like that it's like 5 hours. It's a hard.
Just to quickly cut all this off and loop it back to the first question, and like I'm down to answer it as well. But like, if someone came up to you and they were like, well, you're a personal trainer or a movement coach. Someone came up to you and they're like, oh, like why were you doing handstand? Like why do you do this movement stuff? Like what are you doing? Like why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like I don't mean to like get super elaborate with it, but in case anyone is listening, like that is like wondering why, why do you move, and your personal opinion on that. And
because I do it for me.
But why? Like what's the deeper drive to that? Like
just the way I can express myself.
Yeah.
Just honestly. It's like a place where I feel like the best version, but also the worst. So like some days I feel like a god, bro. Yeah. Like sometimes, like getting those backflips, that first session we did in Capoeira, and like I was actually kind of picking up the Jenga. I was actually kind of picking up like the Bensal, like some of the kicks and things because I've already kind of practiced a little bit of them and felt like I had a little bit of a place already, and I was just feeling really good about that. Like first day, and I can already kind of do the things that they were doing. But sometimes I just like for instance when we were doing handstands yesterday, we're doing that kind of like little circuit thing, like skin the cats and then the handstand push-ups. And like fuck sakes, bro, I was getting furious. Like, and then I tried to so you had to like wrap it around like your shoulder because it was like tied up to a bar that was above you. Kind of just explaining for the viewers, it was tied up above you, and the band came down and you had to wrap it over your shoulder over one side, and then you would go inverted and the band would provide more stability and it would give you a little bit more of a
to be able to do a handstand push-up, like a bit of resistance pulling you out.
So and then I tried to do that and I just couldn't find the perfect spot, and then I ended up like forward rolling over, and then the band smacked me right on my thigh, and it just like was so sore. I was like, for fuck's sakes, I feel like we've been doing handstands for like 3 months straight, and this is what I get for I can't even do a fucking banded handstand push-up. So like there's times of movement where I feel like a absolute gringo. But sometimes I feel like shit, this is actually like my highest version, this is my true self, all that kind of stuff. But it makes me feel alive, makes me, gives me tingles sometimes when you get like a movement right, or you just feel your body just moving in a perfect
feeling
way
that comes with it.
It's like it's literally sometimes I've gotten tingles from a movement that I've just done, or like it's just felt perfectly, it's just so fluid and you just click and you're just so in the moment. Like an hour goes by, like I was doing locomotion yesterday at the gym. I think I left your gym at around like 3:30. I was doing it all the way through to like 6. It's maybe actually I think it was like 6 o'clock or something. So like 2.5 hours I was just doing one style of movement. And it went so quick.
Even the other night, bro, I can't remember what night it was, but we went to the park. Even the other night with the foam roller, that was dope. But we were doing some random kicking stuff and did a few jingles and that. And that just boosted past. That was like an hour or maybe even more, and just playing with those movements. Yeah, it's just so much fun.
Makes you feel like a kid.
Yeah. And that ties back to a post that I made today, actually talking about this morning, and I was just talking about like how, do you remember the times when you were a kid just playing and moving and like you weren't thinking about anything else, you were just like doing this movement, it was fucking fun and that's it. And now I feel like I do that, like it doesn't happen perfectly all the time, but I would say 80% of the time, maybe less, give or take, depending on the day, I drop into like this movement, playful, like I'm just having fun, even though I'm also pushing myself. It's more just like
such a flow state.
Yeah, like my thoughts don't intrude. Like there's no. Yeah. You just feel like a kid and playing and moving. Yeah,
if they do, is it like you initiate the thought? I love that. I love that when you actually like think about a movement. No, this would be better, and then you try that and no, and you do that constant refining. I love figuring out.
Yeah, that's like how something works. Movement.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of like Jiu Jitsu. That's what I get from that. Man, I need to fucking start it. Jiu Jitsu again. I'm really looking forward to that. But I reckon you would really, really enjoy Jiu Jitsu. It's like
I think I would too.
Again, you don't have to like. It's just another form of movement. Yeah. You don't have to look at it like a martial art or like that. You got to get into.
I want to, and if I'm honest, the only reason that I wouldn't like properly is, I guess, money.
For now.
Yeah.
Same with me. Like, that's the only reason why I haven't got the CKB. Can I tell you one of my fears?
Yeah.
My honest, like this is probably actually one of my biggest fears. Is I'm really scared to lose that.
Lose what?
Lose that like feeling of like that you're like a kid, like that you're just you're in your own imagination, you're in that and just in that flow state. Like I'm really afraid to lose that.
I have an interesting take on that, and like from what I've talked about with older people and from what your mum said, like my parents, like the conversations I've had, even listening to some podcasts and stuff, like you're still like that 20-year-old version of you when you're 40 or 50 or whatever. Like not a whole lot changes other than like your thought processes and certain things and whatever you work on, and things get a little bit harder or easier or whatever. Everyone's a bit different, but like I genuinely believe that within movement it's just so important to do, because you're always tapping into that playful side. Like as soon as you pick up a tennis ball and literally just look at it and go, it's just a tennis ball, and put it down and don't think ooh or like throw it at the wall, like you look at a soccer ball and just look at
Yeah.
it and go, meh. Or
Yeah.
like all those sorts of things. Like I think that's when you can literally just check yourself and be like, okay, I need to start playing.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not play? Like, why would you not want to just randomly play? And I'm not meaning all the time. Like, I don't feel like it all the time.
I just think, yeah, on that exact same note, is having fun is so key.
Yeah,
Like actually just enjoying your own self.
bro.
Like, just enjoying what you're doing right now, whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
I
I was about to
If
say, I would
if-
argue. Okay.
if I have to sit at a fucking desktop, bro, I'm fucked. If I have to sit at a desktop and type away and send emails and fucking
Oh.
dude, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. So
Even in my gym,
I just don't see how you can have like fun doing it like that.
yeah, there's so many other ways to have fun and also like make a living. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic.
Call of Duty.
What?
Call of Duty.
What about Call of Duty?
It's basically the same thing, but it's just like super fun. Don't you think so?
Call of Duty's super fun.
Pretty much the exact same thing. You're just switching it up.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
So gaming's a way to have fun.
Yeah.
But I feel like gaming, like
gaming's a bit of a trap, eh?
getting into gaming like can't work for me because it just sucks all my attention for other avenues of life, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm not enjoying
It's
all
just
the
too
things.
addictive.
Yeah.
If it wasn't addictive, then I could probably do it. But I don't know what it is. It just,
so addictive.
dude, I used to play like 8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah. Anyway, movement and all of that, and playing and like all this shit. Like to answer that question that I was asking you, like I fucking do it because it's fun, because it makes me, like I get so many moments of like okay, everything's gonna be alright, life's all good, like I'm having fun, this is what it's all about, yes, this is what life's about, that's why I move, like that's why I think our exploration within movement, because we have gone from like thinking that only weightlifting gives you that, and then it's like, oh, when I move my body, it feels good. Okay, let's try all these other things. And now we're fucking doing random gymnastics shit, like flipping around and stuff I've always wanted to be able to do, but never like applied myself because I didn't think about it in the way in which I thought about resistance or weight training or bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And now it's like that feels the same.
Yeah.
Like when we're just fucking around, moving around, like doing movements, maybe it's the way that we have an endorphin release from those movements and stuff, but it's just so much fun, and I just feel like it makes my life feel like good, and I can't believe that so many people don't get that.
Yeah, they will. Everyone's on their own journey.
I know, but I think that's why like I feel so inclined to want to share what we're doing, because like I really truly wish that everyone has at least one moment a day of like truly being like, it's all good, like I'm having fun, and those times where I'm not, which is a lot, they are all worth it, you know?
Yeah, just something that gives you some energy, man. Something that's energizing. Something that's energizing is just so key.
Yeah.
You know? Something that you can actually just like, by the time you hit your pillow at the end of the day, like you're just like, fuck, that one part of my day. Or that it's like the first thing that comes through my mind.
Wait, do you know what it was for me today?
What?
The sauna.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have done that if you didn't cruise in.
Yeah.
So
Same
like
with me.
my like whole thought process today after I had a coffee, which I never do, and the coffee didn't even do anything, and I was yawning like an hour later.
Yeah.
And like I was feeling fine, but like I was just like,
it was dull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like feeling ecstatic or anything like that. And then when you were like sauna, I was like, oh, this is probably the one form of movement today, or the one physical challenge that
It's definitely a form of movement.
Yeah.
You can use that.
Yeah. I don't have to like exert all this effort. I just have to fucking breathe.
Yeah.
And like push through it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tried 2 sets of handstands today. I did tell you that, and just gave up and did some meditation instead.
Yeah.
Fuck, I had such a sick conversation today with these guys who saw me doing that in the group fitness room, and then afterwards they came up, and he just came out and like literally sat in the chair next to where I was like doing like my lunch dishes and shit. And he was just like, oh, I saw you in the room just like sitting on those blocks like doing meditation. Like that's fucking sick, but it's real cool to see.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thanks man, like I appreciate that. And then his bro came out, and then I talked to them about movement and how like they're coming into the gym now twice a day, and they're now gaining an understanding of like stretch before you, or dynamic stretch before you lift, and like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was just a super uplifting conversation about movement that I got to like actually throw down some stuff that I'm really passionate about, and then afterwards they were like, we were all equally just super stoked. And it was a good game.
What kind of movements were they doing in their trainings?
They're doing like weight stuff, but it was still like I had the opportunity to talk about what I'm doing within like the gymnastic rings and handstands and all that sort of shit, and rather than feeling like this slight like not wanting to tell truthfully all of my training because I'm still slightly scared of judgment, like they were just like, oh yo, that's sick, like
you
man,
shouldn't
that's
feel
true.
that. You I know that you feel that way, but I'll tell you why that it's okay. I'll tell you why. It's because you're passionate about what you do. And when you hear someone, like for example Gabrielle, when you actually hear someone talk about what they like, it's actually energizing. The trick is to give it like, if you can feel that it's like more of just like, you know, passing through conversation, or if it's like, like a 5-minute conversation, or if it's like you actually have some, you know, solid time, like just give them like a little bit of it then, or like, give them like a little cock tease of why you do what you do. Like still let that passion out, man. You need to. I feel like you have something that I don't really see it that much in many people, so you have to, this goes on record as well, like you have to fucking do that, dude.
But it's the fear coming back to like where I think it's stemming from is like getting into bodybuilding when I was younger and not wanting to wear shirts or singlets because I wasn't pumped, so I didn't look as big as I thought that I wanted to, and like I didn't want people to see me small, and then like only did weight training, and that scattered a bit of my identity because I was like this guy who went to the gym and like I was the only one who actually gave a fuck. But like that still has a part to play where I'm like, am I still that bodybuilding like dude who can't wear a shirt because he's self-conscious to that point? Like no, I definitely don't feel like that anymore, but that still creeps in where I'm like, I like go to talk about yoga or stretching or like gymnastics, and a part of me is like, no, still be cool, still be the cool that I thought, or like still be that. You know, that's completely in my mind.
Is it like a facade? Almost?
I'm like, I don't want to say like I
like
don't wanna,
you're kind of like using this to like show that you're that you got the one up on them. Like you know this, and you know that they don't know as much as this. Is it kind of like that?
Even when I talk about bodybuilding sometimes and say to people, I used to do like harder like weights and bodybuilding, I still say it with a slight amount of like, you know, and even just recognizing that now and saying that like truthfully, it's kind of funny because I don't give a fuck about bodybuilding, but like I also do. Because I will always see my physique change and be like,
I reckon your physique looks better than in the bodybuilding days.
So
it's
do
more
I.
full.
I agree.
Full round.
Even my core, like I've always had decent core since started training, but now it's like
probably a little bit maybe like muscle maturity maybe. It's been a wee while since you've done bodybuilding, but I reckon just like overall like your physique looks fucking way better than that.
I'm pretty stoked, but
and
once
more
again
functional too.
The functional side of it, and
Jesus.
I don't have sore shoulders anymore. I did for ages. My lower back is never sore, literally never sore. I'm gonna claim only since the start of this year, and that's since we've been training real differently. Like it's a while before that, but like constantly, feels fucking good. Even though I've now get an injury because I've not been able to use my toes. But
how did you do that?
Okay.
How did you do that? How did you do that?
I was doing a steppy on the grass.
Steppy on the grass. Did the grass bite you or something?
Yeah.
Did it say rah?
Oh my god.
Imagine if all you hear is rah, and you're on the fucking playground or something.
Some kid on fuck.
And then the grass is just like, you can't take me.
Wait, this is healing up nice and good though. Look at that.
That looks like
You wanna see my
a baby's ball sack.
no skin on my big toe?
Not that I've seen baby's balls legs, Jesus.
Probably have, to be fair.
Yeah, probably. I've definitely looked at my own when I was being a baby.
Damn, is that what it looked like when I was younger?
So,
Anyway, I reckon this is probably a solid point to wrap it up.
Yeah.
If you've been listening or you're even at this point, can you not do that in a video is the question.
I got the green guy. Alright,
But yeah,
ciao.
Contentment, or The Contentment podcast episode 1. I would really like to get one of these out a week.
I reckon we could do more than one.
But
This
for
is
now,
easy.
no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah, to be
Is-
fair, we
Is
talk
Wednesday
about
going to be the day?
I
Should we do a Wednesday and like a Saturday?
Yeah.
Or maybe a Wednesday and a Friday? Because Friday is kind of the day that we, do some celebrations, but also, yeah, that would be kind of cool to get it on film too. I reckon we could do that.
Alright, dudes. Peace.